Yes, we are in here once again. The Southern Hospitality Radio Show, the Regulator Show, live on Soho Radio. We're just feeling good in London right now, feeling good in the UK right now. We are here, of course, Southern Hospitality, myself, Rob Pursey. Get me on Twitter, at ROBPURSEY, the RnB icon, the world's greatest seated DJ Super Riggs. We've also got a guest in the studio today, my man Raj Kotecha in the building. Say what up, Raj. Bless that microphone.
Yo, mic check 1 2. I'm back in London. I got back 2 days ago, and it is thank you for the invite. It's a huge honor to be here on the radio. And yo, man, like Rob, I mean, we met today, but I just want to say, like, I see you working. I've seen you. I've obviously given you your praise on social media before.
I like that.
But I
always appreciate that.
I want to know, like, whoo's working harder than you in this city right now, man? Like, I'm not talking about the West End guys and the One Extra guys. I'm talking about, like, in the streets. I passed through London last week for a couple of days, and I see your name on all the posters on the street. So shout out to you, man.
Yeah, hey, listen, I like that. That doesn't normally happen on this show, so yeah. I'm appreciating that, Raj, to the fullest. Thank you for coming through. Now, today, this is the Regulator Show. What we do is we regulate. We never hate.
Yeah.
We only congratulate, and we like to regulate. All we like to do is give people their props. So, we've had shows in the past. What have we had on the show in the past? We've had things like the greatest R&B remixes of the 90s.
Yeah.
We've had things like the greatest crews of the 90s. We've had a whole show about Raphael Sadiq because we feel like you should have been here for that one. Because we feel like he's rated but underrated. Yeah. We've actually done a whole show of artists who are rated but also underrated. Yeah. So people like Snoop, who's rated but still underrated. So this is what the Regulator Show is about. So today, in celebration of the weather, in celebration of the football, in celebration of life, we're going to be breaking down some of the greatest summer jams of all time. Yeah. Now, I'm not talking Hot 97 Summer Jam, even though there might be a little bit of crossover. We're talking about the song that we hear in the background here. I don't feel like we need to play that because, it probably is definitively the greatest summer jam of all time.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah, I mean, and then there's one that I texted you yesterday as well.
Yeah, there's a
which
few.
For me, like, really pulls on my heartstrings. But you guys can play that whenever you want to play it.
Okay. Let's get to that anyway. We are Soho Radio, of course, Southern Hospitality, the Regulator Show. Let's get to some more music, Super Riggs. Let's do this. Yes. This is a Summer Jam show, the Regulator Show, Southern Hospitality in the building, Soho Radio, of course. We have DJ Super Riggs on the set, the world's greatest seated DJ. We have Hugh, the producer, in the building. I am in the building, Rob Pursey. Get me on Twitter, at ROBPURSEY. Get me on Instagram, at ROBPURSEY. Get me on everything, at ROBPURSEY. I'm not hiding from anything. Life is beautiful. The sun is shining. That's why we're doing a full Regulator Show dedicated to summer jams. And even better, just to make the studio a little bit more sunny, we brought a bit of Dubai with us. Well, Dubai by way of Salford. Yeah. We've got the man. He finally got there. After those years of rain and misery, he finally got to the promised land of sunshine.
The great escape.
The great escape, literally. We've got the man Raj Kotecha in the building. Let them know where we can find you, Raj, if we want to find you on social media, because you're out there on social media a lot.
The gift and the curse, man. Everything is at Raj Kotecha, which is RHAKOTECHA. The curse being that no one ever remembers how to spell it. But if you spell even something that sounds like at Raj Kotecha, you'll probably find me.
Yeah. That'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
was that too low? Should I say it again?
No, that was fine. You were good. I was asking for my mic to be a bit louder. Actually.
Oh, yours. Okay. Yeah.
But listen, what is it? What are the ingredients for a summer jam? Let's break it down. What are some of the kind of key ingredients for a summer jam? If we're talking about a rap or R&B summer jam, we probably really need like an audio visual show today. Like, I know there's a little bit of visuals going on over here. Yeah. However, you sort of think of these rap videos from the 90s, don't you? What are the essential ingredients that make a song a dope summer jam?
Okay, I think it's got to be less than 110 BPM.
Okay,
if not less than 100. Yeah. Because if you listen to the West Coast,
that's a really good point.
The West Coast are always stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
So you can't have blaring music.
Yeah.
You need to have the synth. So everything is kind of like slowed out, stretched out.
That's the key word.
You're not being forced to like think too quick. You can be in the moment. Barbecue takes time. Summer jam traffic takes time.
Here we go.
This is science right here from Raj.
Long cold cocktails take time. Sipping on a 40 takes time.
It takes a long time.
And then the other things that you do at summer take time.
That's true.
So I think as it's got to be chilled out. It can't be like a crazy throbbing beat that's forcing you to run around. And that's why I think like it's cliched, but like the way that Dre puts together records like that is just like phenomenal. Like Let Me Ride and all. Where I mean, you're a master geek. Where's that? Like 88 BPM or?
Yeah, 92.
92. Okay, yeah.
And
as long as I'm within 10%.
And you know what? And you know what? You can check that. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, so they're my ingredients.
I've played
man.
the BPM game before, and I've only ever been 2% out, 2 BPM out at maximum. Like that is some nerd. Hi girls, just in case anyone wants to.
I'm not a nerd, honestly.
What about the videos, Super Rich? What would you need in a video?
Video's essential ingredient. Obviously, a bit slightly oversaturated color.
Yeah,
you need a bit
definitely.
of that. You always need that. No black and white.
Yeah,
summer videos.
Videos got to be outdoors.
It's got to be outdoors.
Outdoors, slow motion. Definitely
car wash.
Well, here we go.
Slow motion car wash.
Talk about it.
Car wash. Maybe a lady or a man with some denim shorts on.
Yeah.
Or jorts.
Making the right mess.
Jorts.
Yeah.
Men in jorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Men rocking jorts.
Bit of that.
R.I.P. Combat Jack, the king.
Exactly.
The king of the jort.
A tied up t-shirt or something like that.
Yeah, fantastic.
And just a bit of hose pipe water going everywhere in slow motion.
The water cooler that breaks in Brooklyn, like you know.
Yes,
the
you need
fire.
that.
See, that's another one, isn't it?
That's right. The
Cut
water
to that
cooler.
scene.
And barbecue.
Yes.
It has to be barbecue.
Barbecue. Always.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
And the dance off.
Some sort of dance off,
like even if it's
Soul
like
Train
Soul
Train line, like a Soul Train line with whatever dance
a bit
is
of that
pertinent to that video.
Wait, and somebody who's just done too much and knocked out.
Yeah,
on every summer video, there's got to be somebody slouched out on a chair.
I knew there was a reason why I'd invited you on this show, Raj.
Yeah, man. This is a long time in the making, man. Like, and you know what's dope? I want the listeners to know as well that I love what these dudes do so much, and this is real talk. This is our first actual conversation in life.
That's right.
Although we've spoken many times over the internet and seen each other in the streets, this is the first time this is our recording of our first genuine
real
combo.
life is actually has not been real life until this moment.
No.
So let's keep it moving. Anyway, you know what? We're going to take a little deviation from the kind of rap videos and the rap songs for a second. Let's get into some definitive summer R&B bangers. I want to get into this Groove Theory record.
Yeah.
This record, for me, in the sort of mid-90s, I think it came out sort of 95. Maybe the record was like back end of 94.
Yeah,
but the album was kind of 95.
I was in New York in 95, in the summer of 95.
Yep.
It was all over Hot 97.
It was just ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Incredible record.
Yeah.
Obviously, Amel Larue, I can never pronounce her second name, Larue, was the vocalist. Amel Larue,
that one.
He went straight in with it. And Bryce Wilson produced on the album. Bryce Wilson, who previously was one of Mantronix's rappers back in the day. And actually, if you look, he was in a group called Queen's Brooklyn Connection with where he's in the front cover of the record is him holding a gun to a teacher's head. So he went from that to this kind of really nice kind of duo that were Groove Theory.
It's okay to reinvent yourself.
Exactly. Love it. Listen, so let's do that. Let's reinvent life right now. We're going to get into this Groove Theory and a couple more summer bangers. Can we play some Maxwell as well in this section as well?
Yes.
Oh, let's do this. Soho Radio, Southern Hospitality. Let us know how you feel. Get us on Twitter at Soho Radio, at Southern Age, at Rob Pursey, ROBPURSEY. Let's do this, Super Ricks.
Yo, what's happening, baby? What's your name?
What's up, I'm Fendi. What's up, I'm Fendi. What's up, I'm Fendi. What's up, I'm Fendi.
I like that fade, Ricks. What about Fendi? Forget about Kiki. Fendi, are you riding? That's the original Kiki, Fendi. Listen, we had to let that record rock. We're having so much fun today. Soho Radio, Southern Hospitality, the Regulated Show, myself, Rob Pursey, DJ Super Ricks, Hugh the producer, and guest Raj Kotecha in the building. We are breaking down the greatest, well, not even the greatest, just some of our favourite summer jams of all time, really. I mean, there's no definitive, answer to this question. Whatever the summer jam is whatever you like yourself. But in the last break, Raj really broke it down about what makes a definitive summer jam, and that Jodeci Get On up there. It's just got everything you need, hasn't it?
Not just that, but am I the only over 30-year-old who actually learned how to talk to girls based on the ad-lib chat at the end of R&B records? Wait.
How successful was that in the UK?
Not that much, but I basically took my whole
set the scene. So growing up, Salford, yes. Jodeci Get On Up is on in the club.
Yeah.
He hears, he's like, oh, hang on, this is the bit I'm coming. This is my favourite bit. The bit where, Devontae Swing talks to Fendi. Yeah. Okay, go.
Okay, so firstly, let's take out Devontae Swing and put in a 5'3" greasy-haired, pimpled brown guy in a hood club that's been built above like some shopping like retail place with curtains that have like with 3 stories up with curtains to make sure that if the police come, someone goes. And in that time, I'm trying to mack it the same way. But basically, I took my sentence structure from that kind of talk. Yeah.
Sentence structure.
Yeah.
We should do a whole show on just records that have that
chat.
The talk that talk, basically.
Yeah.
Call the show the Talk That Talk show.
Yeah.
And you should just come on and just kick us some of those lines that you were kicking back in the 90s Salford.
Yeah.
Any successful ones that you...
Is there anything you can credit directly to Jodeci Getting Up?
Girl, when it comes to girls,
you don't need to name names.
When it comes to girls and business, in both senses, I would say that a lot of my success came later in life.
Loving the honesty, love it. But yeah, Jodeci, that is one of those songs you can just throw on at a barbecue, at a kind of slightly more mature party. Yeah. But even young people, I play that records in the club now at my RnB party, Rated R. It's just one of those records. The groove is so
kind of timeless.
It's not even it's so deep, the groove, that you'd have to be a soulless person to not feel that, Yeah. And then, like you say, with the talking at the end and the way it comes in with the kind of chatting and the kind of communal atmosphere, I think that's kind of almost the key to some of these records as well. Yes. To imply a barbecue or to imply sitting around the pool or to imply some sort of...
Is that called idle chatter?
Idle chat? Is that what it is?
Is that? I don't know.
No, I don't think it is, Rich.
Oh, okay.
But Get On Up's a you could play Get On Up at a funeral and everyone would be like, yeah, he lived a good life. Let's move on.
You know what?
That's going on my funeral list.
Real talk. I have given my wife my funeral songs already.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. One of them was R. Kelly. So, but I need my DJ Drama problematic drop rather than dramatic. But I would like people to be happy at my funeral. So it will be probably play something like, I don't know, Bump and Grind, and then play Jodeci Get On Up, and just remind people of what life's all about. It's the miserable affairs. I've been to too many funerals recently. You're right. It would be like, this
it's
guy,
a good vibe, yeah.
It's a good vibe.
Let's
Listen,
do that. You need
how can I be sad anymore? Raj is talking to someone called Fendi.
Yeah, I think we should set that policy. If you listen to the show, it's important to get a will to make sure your business is right, but also have a funeral playlist.
That's
as important as the will.
In fact, more important.
If you've got no money, just do the playlist.
Just do the playlist.
Yeah. If you've got no property to hand over and no tax to avoid, do the playlist.
We should start doing that with Spotify, Apple Music or something like that. Say we'll curate funeral play, so we build it into. Yeah. I'm not going to say this on there because it's a great idea. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
There's too much money talk right now.
Too much money talk right now. Listen, another thing I think about summer jams, they often have an air of things were better in the old days. Reminiscing.
Yes.
So let's get into some...
There's a lot of that.
Let's take the tempo down. Raj talked earlier about the fact that he feels that records have got to be a bit more down tempo to be a true summer jam. Yeah. So let's take it down maybe 10 BPM now, and we'll get into some, let's start with Armad. Let's do this, Super Rick. Soho Radio, Southern Hospitality, loving life today. Let's get it. I'd like to say on Waistcoat Wednesday that the England team take on the motto of love, peace and nappiness. Incredible stuff there. Lost Boys, UGK is supposed to bubble, and of course Armad back in the day. This is The Regulator Show. I am Rob Pursey, DJ Super Rick's on the set, Hugh the producer, and our special guest today. Loving having you in the building. Raj Kotecha in the building. Say what up, Raj.
Yo.
Let them hear your beautiful Salford/Dubai tones.
I could say what up, but I just want to say this. You guys are playing my favorite records. Speaking of Dubai, my DJ partner in Love Soul DJs, his name is Vic. He's in Abu Dhabi, I think, at the moment, but he is if he was here right now, he'd just be bugging, man.
Yeah.
It's me, him, the flashback DJs, shout out to them. These are our records. You're literally playing my DNA right now. You know what I mean?
You were saying about how that second Lost Boys album was a real kind of define. People forget about it because they made such an impact with Lex Coops Beamers and Renee and all the ones off the first album.
Yeah.
However, the second album's a gem too. So people, if you've not, and that's one of the albums. The first Lost Boys album isn't on any streaming services.
I noticed, yeah.
There's a few kind of key albums from the 90s like that. The second one actually is, but there's a few albums like that, like Nonchalance album, and we've talked about this on the show before. So listen, you sometimes just got to dig. You got to go YouTube, go and find that stuff. Get on Google, ask Jeeves, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. hack Rob's home network.
Napster.
Yeah, burgle my house. Don't do that. Listen, playing in the background, of course, Warren G. Now, we could not have a Summer Jam show without a dedication to Warren himself, because really, Warren G kind of turned the Summer Jam concept into a whole label. Like the G-Funk Records was just a whole label. So even if he's releasing in like October in New York, it was still a Summer Jam.
Yeah. It's like year round.
Incredible. I feel like myself and Super Ricks particularly, this is what binds us, you know, our love, you know, we love, you know, our friends and our family and our wives.
Yeah.
But probably above all of those things
Is Warren G.
It's like the kind of is G-Funk.
Yeah.
And Warren G's G-Funk Records was is an incredible time. People like the Dove Shack, the Twins, the Five Footers. Do you remember the Five Footers? Yeah. And they killed.
Who was it? Soul Sister as well. Soul Sister.
Soul Sister. Yeah. Sister Soul or Soul Sister.
Super Soul Sis.
Super Soul Sis.
Yeah.
Man.
By the way, my all-time favorite album. Like, if I had to have a gun put to my head and be like, choose one, and you can take it with you to a desert island, it would be absolutely this album. Yeah. And actually, so much so that, when I met Warren,
and
I
then
actually froze.
The person with a gun would then say correct answer and take the gun away.
And maybe take my CD away as well. But like, it's funny because there's two people I've seen in and around the US when I was making videos about hip hop. One was Jay-Z, froze, couldn't put the words together. Yeah. The other was Warren G, to let you know which two kind of artists I met where I just kind of got a bit, a bit disabled. Because I was like, man, this piece of work that you made that's it for me.
And it was actually the piece of work that basically kind of saved Def Jam, because Def Jam were struggling in the early 90s. Hard to believe now, everyone just thinks Def Jam were just on top forever. They were, you know, Interscope would come in, you know, obviously Tupac had signed to Interscope, The Chronic had come out, and Def Jam was kind of doing a few gimmicky things. You know, they were releasing like Flatliners, and they started like Def Jam West with Boss. Remember Boss? Yeah. Like a female rapper from like 92. And some of these things weren't really working, like things that Redman were doing okay for them. But then Warren G really just knocked it out of the park with this, and it kind of really brought the attention back to Def Jam. And then obviously a few years later, you had Jay-Z did the distribution deal with Def Jam and DMX, and the rest is history. You know, and then they sort of dominated from the late 90s, early 2000s and on. But that's incredible. You know, Warren G, I love this. One of my favourite faux pas in this of hip hop history of all time is on this album, where he's got a song called "What's Next." Correct on the album,
and he spells next wrong.
He spells next wrong. It's like
NXET.
It literally has a four-letter word to get right. It's the name of the song. You can imagine an engineer in the studio at the time going, "I'm sure he spelled that wrong."
Should I say something? It's Warren G. Should I say?
No, don't.
No, everyone's strapped. I might just.
What am I going to gain from this?
Exactly. But do you know about the court case he had with Garth Brooks?
No.
They went to a court case for the trademark on the lowercase g.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Lowercase or uppercase. So
Ever
basically,
since I was a
they tried to trademark, Warren G tried to trademark the G in Warren G in the font or the lowercase or uppercase, and he went head to head with Garth Brooks, who was a much bigger artist, of course, at the
How
time.
does that work? How do you trademark a capital letter?
Well, it's like
No,
it's
it's a
either like the
lowercase
font,
letter.
lowercase or uppercase. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't remember who won. My guess would probably be. Well, actually, I'm not going to guess.
Garth Brooks was the biggest selling artist in 93 to 95 in the world. Yeah. So maybe Brooks had slightly more legit lawyering behind him at the time. But you never know. Yeah. I love that. See,
we're
this is the
geeking
kind
out, man.
This is the kind of hip hop trivia we love on the Regulator show. Anyway, so we couldn't let this show go by without running some, just some classics from the G-Funk records. Warren G's imprint on Def Jam, on Rush Associated labels. Let's do this, Super Ricks. It's about that time we took the tempo down even more. Soho Radio, myself, Rob Pursey. This is a Southern Hospitality Regulator show. We don't hate, we just congratulate, and we like to regulate, and we like to give props to people who've put in work on a certain area of hip-hop R&B, soul, funk, whatever it might be. You know, we've had shows in the past on everything, but today we are focusing on the Summer Jam. Why are we focusing on Summer Jams right now, Super X? Is it because it's been like basically 2 months of glorious weather in the UK?
Amazing, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. This hasn't happened for a long, long time. I mean, last time
This has never happened.
Actually, probably 95 when it was scorched, because I remember coming back and spoke about earlier when I was away in 95.
You're in New York in 95, yeah.
And then coming back and all of the lawns were just yellow because there was no there was no rain.
That's right.
So
it's a big day all around. It's Waistcoat Wednesday. Southgate's going to take the team all the way. It's a big week. London's just kind of like, it's just on fire at the moment. Like, everyone says this, don't they? If London had better weather, it'd be the best city in the world. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't. But at the moment, we've had about 2 or 3 months of this. So, yeah, we're killing it.
Yeah, we are.
So, listen, Summer Jams. Off air, you've done a little bit of research with you. We just had a little G-Funk section there of Warren G, the Twins, Dove Shack. And as you correctly said, the Dove Shack album and the Twins album were kind of like an extension, really, of the Warren G album, because you didn't quite get enough off the Warren G album, so we had to flesh it out to a whole label. But break this whole Garth Brooks, Warren G beef down.
All right, so if you're listening, we had to Google it because I was embarrassed by the fact that I couldn't tell the full story. So I said, okay, do you mind if I Google it? So here's the story according to E! News. And everything I'm about to say...
That's pretty legit.
Yeah, everything I'm about to say is, I'm saying verbatim from the story. So, because the way they've written it makes it sound like I'm saying it. Warren G has settled a trademark infringement suit that he filed against country star Warren Brooks, Garth Brooks. Okay, the parties announced together. Terms of the settlement were not disclosed. Seems Garth caught Warren G's legal wrath by using a lowercase g in a circle as a logo on albums and concert scenery. Warren filed the suit in an LA court and Garth filed back in a Nashville court. Garth, not willing to give up on his consentant without a fight. I don't know what that means. I guess he's not willing to give up without a fight. Countersued in a Nashville court. Both musicians dropped their legal actions.
Wow.
In a rather bizarre statement, and then the article says, we're not joking here, around what the 7th letter of the alphabet means to African Americans. Now, you might think 7th letter is in Nation of Islam.
Yeah, that would be the first thing that came to mind.
Turns out it wasn't the case. Said Brooks, I learned from Warren G and Ron G, his manager, that the letter G has a special significance to them and to some of the members of their community in that it symbolizes kids and young people who have risen above drugs and violence and who are worthy of respect because of their positive contributions to the world. Knowing how much the symbol G means to Warren, I will strive to reach the standard that G represents to him and the community. Now being a G... Being a G is generally a moment of respect, but I don't think it's because you gave up the drugs.
Yeah.
So he got hornswoggled, or Warren G's manager said...
Hornswoggled, good word.
Or Warren G's team said,
I like
get the strap.
I like
Get the strap.
I like the fact that
there's a new market for you, Garth.
Yeah. I like the fact that the one word that wasn't in the report was hornswoggled. Yeah. So I would have actually liked to have heard the Raj Kotecha version of that report better. I think it would have been slightly more literary. Yeah. Oh man, that's a great story. I love a bit of hip hop trivia like that.
That's amazing.
Brooks, though, you got to have a bit of respect for Garth Brooks for that, though. You know, he kind of held it down.
Okay, so who has more guns, Nashville in 1993 or the West Coast?
I mean,
I think Nashville every year. I think they're killing it.
I don't know. When I saw that documentary, Iveen and Dre one.
Yeah,
it looked like Defiant ones. It looked like everyone was running around with heaters at that time.
Yeah, but Nashville is just kind of like, it's almost standard though, isn't it?
It's in the DNA, isn't it?
It's in the like, you know, it's kind of, children get given them as like gifts, don't they?
Well, the main thing is it all ended happy and well, and Nashville's a sunny place and California's a sunny place, and today's Sundon.
Yeah. How has
London,
Sundon? How has no one ever said that before? Yeah. Anyway, listen, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to take the tempo right down. We're going to get some hazy. We're going to get into some above the rim soundtrack business.
Oh, wow.
Probably the
best soundtrack.
Probably
ever.
We've done a whole show on soundtracks actually, Raj. You've got to go and check that one. Go back to the Soho Radio and Southern Hospitality Mixed Clouds. There's a whole show on 90s rap and R&B soundtracks, and we decided that Above the Rim narrowly beat out Juice and Menace to Society as the top soundtrack of the 90s. Narrowly. So let's get into this. Can we also play 213 Another Summer? Some more Warren G, just because I love that song. Let's do this. Soho Radio, Southern Hospitality. It's beautiful in London. Let's go. Yes, Jaheim the king of Thug and B. People don't really do Thug and B anymore because nowadays people are just thugs, and the R&B is very aggressive. It's like, I'll take your woman, all this kind of stuff, you know. Obviously not woman. I'll take your bitch and I'll do this and I'll do that in an R&B voice. Back then, they were thugs, but they were still kind of sensitive thugs. So that was a very strong era, that kind of late 2000s. Tyrese got his sensitive thuggery on in those days, Jaheim, and that was just a summer classic. Fabulous, incredible.
Oh, man.
Featuring The Rain. Do you remember The Rain?
Yes. I briefly,
they
because
had that song. The Rain. They had that song with Rich Harrison, big song, and they did the background vocals on that. Anyway, we're just hitting the trivia. This is Southern Hospitality. This, of course, is the Regulator Show. We are doing nothing but rap and R&B summer jams today. We've got DJ Super X in the building, Hugh the producer, and my man, fresh from the streets of, well, kind of everywhere. He's an international jet setter. He's everywhere. International playboy, I'm going to call him. Raj Kotecha. We've heard about his early playboy years on the streets of Salford, talking to Fendi. So now we've got him on the mic talking about summer jams. Listen, we've got Country Grammar in the background. I feel like that video, the Country Grammar video, was a classic kind of summer jam video. Everyone's surrounding a few cars. Like you say, a bit of dancing at the front. Yeah. Had everything.
And as well, because I was sat with a friend of mine recently who dances along to R&B. We all know this person, right? They dance along to R&B, but they don't listen to the lyrics. And when I broke down what Nelly was saying, they almost had a heart attack. Because in this record is straight encrypted G, I'll kill you.
That's right, that's right.
And it's like, when I explained it, they were like, what? They're like really out here trying to like, he was actually talking about setting up someone on a drive-by.
You thought it was a nice song, just about, teaching some English to someone in the country.
So in that sense, he's kind of like as you say, R&B thug.
R&B thug, yeah. It's the same sort of era, isn't it? Like we're talking about 2000 to 2003 kind of era. Anyway, listen, this wouldn't be the Regulator Show if we didn't regulate a little bit. We feel like there's a couple of songs, not a couple of songs, every year there's probably like 50 songs that just don't get the shine they deserve. You know, as Raj mentioned earlier on my Facebook, I'm always just posting stuff that I feel just should get more shine. You know, we don't need to really post the new Drake song again because it's being aggregated across the World Wide Web as we speak.
He's not struggling.
He doesn't need my promotion. He doesn't need my small piece of promotion on my Facebook feed. But some of this music does. So we're going to play now a couple of songs that we feel in a different time, with different promotion, with a different atmosphere, should really have been huge summer jam anthems. So these aren't summer jam anthems as you know it, but maybe after today a few people might accept that these are. Let's do this. We're going to get into this amazing song from Do or Die, who kind of were huge in the mid 90s. I mean, Po Pimp is a classic.
This song is incredible.
And this is an early Kanye West production.
Yeah.
Back in the early 2000s, when Kanye was giving productions to everyone from like Ludacris to Trina to,
Jermaine Dupri and So Dead.
Yeah, to White Boy. Do you remember White Boy? They know? Incredible,
Yeah.
I'm not just, that was the name of the rapper. I'm not just randomly saying something like
that. White Boy.
That White Boy.
Yeah.
But this was one of those little gems. And let's please, because I just always want to play Vistoso Boss's Delirious, because I feel like it's the hit that should have been a hit. This should be as big as Ghost Town DJ's My Boo. Let's do this, Super Rick. Soho Radio, let's go. Yes, it ain't tricking if you got it. In the words of Malage, gotta shout at my man Freddie, aka Buttery Hotness, for that selection. That's a definitive video. If you want to see a definitive Summer Jam video, Google Malage, Mullage. It ain't tricking if you got it. It's got
all the ingredients.
Got every ingredient. That is like almost like they put all the ingredients of a summer jam into some sort of like crazy blender, and that's what they came out. Malage. It ain't tricking if you got it. Anyway, it's been an amazing day today. Loving the show today. Waistcoat Wednesday, of course. Soho Radio, Southern Hospitality, the Regulator Show. Myself, Rob Pursey, Super Ricks, Hugh the producer, and special guest Raj Kotecha in the building. Now, we couldn't invite you through without you giving us your favourite summer jam of all time. Come on, I feel like we need you just to speak upon this right now. Let's go.
So you know as well as I do, because we're from outside London and outside like the classic hip hop cities.
You may have noticed this from my accent.
Yeah, so we our reference cards were television, and your MTV Raps we know is the top of that Paramount.
The top,
and
very
so
top.
There are many videos that represent the sound and the music and the vibe. And like I mentioned, Dre's got a lot of them as well, but Dre's stuff is generally quite, it's always going to have that street element when it comes off Chronic.
Yep.
But the song that moved me and made me go, oh my God, I would love to one day live that rap life and be on the West Coast, was Coolio, Fantastic Voyage, because of the raw silliness, and it had everything inside it, right? He starts off in his house with an upside down bicycle.
Correct.
Which then turns into a lowrider.
Yes.
Which then takes him to the beach.
Another ingredient.
Lowrider, another ingredient.
Definitely.
Essential.
Which takes him to the beach, and then a whole bunch of people jump out the trunk of the car, and it's so much more like abstract and fantasy.
Yes.
And you mix that with the fact that there's like the chanting in the song, and just it's concept based. And it just made me go, you know what? This is like, that summer is that Fantastic Voyage.
You
for
know
me.
what? And it's funny you should say that about Coolio, because Coolio actually, before obviously the Dangerous Minds soundtrack, before Gangsta's Paradise, and then he became like a bit of a Gangsta's parody afterwards.
Yeah.
Coolio was like a very kind of respected artist. Coolio had been around. I've got 80s records with Coolio on.
Yeah.
On like obscure West Coast labels. Then he was part of WC and the Mad Circle with WC.
Was he?
Yeah, you go and check that cover. Coolio stood right there. So he'd been around. So that was his time. You know, Tommy Boy brought him through. And he kind of hit with Fantastic Voyage and I Remember and the songs of the first album. But then obviously it was the second album, The Gangsta's Paradise, that really blew him all the way. Another little fact, obviously Fantastic Voyage is based on Lakeside Fantastic Voyage. We talked about Ty Dolla $ign earlier. His uncle was in, or his dad, one of these, either uncle or his dad, was in Lakeside.
Wow.
So that's where he gets that kind of musical heritage from. So we're piecing it all together now.
I was fascinated by him because even Snoop shouted him out. Ain't no thing to see my homie Coolio.
Yes.
And then I remember seeing him in videos with like Rappin' Forte and Too Short. So I was like, oh, this guy's like more Ice-T's era than
he is.
post Snoop's era.
He is. He's a definition of paying dues.
Yeah.
Like he'd been a bit like Kanye. You know, he'd been around sort of 10 years in the game before he really got his chance to kind of shine and have one of the biggest rap records of all time, I think.
And he looks the same. I bumped into him about a year ago at a Fat Man Scoop show.
Yes.
They were both performing because they get merged with each other, like they get programmed with each other on stage.
That's right, yes.
And he basically looked slightly older version of himself, but the hair and everything.
Before we play this, can we just say, because obviously you're good friends with Fat Man Scoop.
Yeah.
You've rolled with him for a long time, and I saw you recently at the Soho House Festival, Harewood House Festival. And he was performing Be Faithful. Now, we're talking about anthems today.
Yeah.
And you must have seen him, obviously being friends with Fat Man Scoop, you must have seen him do that song like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But that is the biggest anthem of all time, right?
That would probably be the biggest club record that's crossed all genres.
Yes.
Like you can go to a pop club, you can go to like clubs where obviously overseas where English isn't the first language. Like I've seen that song being dropped in everywhere from Thessaloniki to Mumbai. Yeah. And it just rings off because there's such good energy in it. Do you know what I mean? It's timeless.
I remember at the time, it was quite a hard promo to get because it was an AV8 promo. Yeah. And obviously they were limited AV8. They didn't have the same distribution deal that someone like Def Jam would have. Mm-hmm. So they would run out in the shops. And I remember not having that record once as a DJ and someone having it in the club. And I might have, at the time when it was red hot, it wasn't the song it is now that everyone knows. It was just, you know, the Faith Evans song was super hot, but this version, it was just this version of the Faith Evans song at the time. And I remember I just was waiting for him to play it because I saw it in his record box and I was like, what's the point of me even DJing tonight? Yeah. It just annihilated that club beyond all recognition. So I mean, that's a summer anthem in itself. That's just like an everyday anthem. That's just an all-time anthem.
Yeah, it's so big and it's so associated to him. And like we have a show together on iTunes called OPP, which stands for other people's podcasts. And we have to duck around the song because it's such an elephant in the room, right? Yeah. So like when I talk to him,
such an elephant man in the room.
Yeah, such an elephant man in the room. Yeah.
Shout out some of his other collaborations.
Oh, Rob, you are the best nerd, man. Seriously, you're not the guy to play with. So like, so obviously like we on the show we talk about other people's podcasts. We review podcasts by like Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, and all that. And he talks about it from the point of view of being a celebrity, and it's always hard to not mention, you know, like that record because how big it is. But you're right, and this is so important, bro. It's part of a suite of records.
That's right.
3 years, 4 years earlier, and 3-4 years later that were just massive.
Yes, incredible. Yeah. Incredible. So listen, we're going to get into your summer jam anthem of all time right now. Coolio, Fantastic Voyage. We are Southern Hospitality. This is Soho Radio. Let's do this, Super Ricks. Let's just enjoy life. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh man, once again we're getting to the end of the show. I'm depressed today because I just could do this all afternoon, especially as we've not only had Super Ricks and Hugh the producer as always, and Mike on camera, big up Mike. We've had the Don Raj Kotecha in the building, and we're gonna have to say goodbye to you right now. But thank you for coming through and blessing us with so much knowledge. I'm loving it. I was loving the stories about your past chat-up lines. I'm loving your Garth Brooks, Warren G beef knowledge. Incredible stuff. Thank you so much.
Yo, and thank you, man. Like, I mean, it's become a thank you festival now, but like, I really, like I said at the beginning when I jumped on the show, I super respect what you guys are doing. I could never fall out of contact or love with a city like London whilst there's artists and guys like yourself like producing this kind of content. So I'm really super grateful. Thanks for the opportunity to, and you know, I'm here for like 2 seconds.
That's right.
So
That's the problem. You're in and out.
And for you to, you can text me anytime. Like, of course, if I'm ever in London, I will be up in here and we'll just have a good time.
Let's do that.
And I massively appreciate the platform and the opportunity. Shout out to everyone who follows me online. Shout out to Neil listening in Toronto, Artie listening in Dubai, and everybody listening on Facebook and everywhere else. I just, it means the world, man. Like 20 years ago when I was like collecting hip-hop records, the idea of being on a hip-hop show
it's crazy,
in central London, in Soho, talking about this with peers is wild. So I'm so happy, man. I'm so grateful to you.
Well, listen, you enjoy the rest of your super brief trip in London. Next time we're going to try and keep you here for a little bit longer.
You let me know, man. If we schedule it in advance, we can go.
Let's do that.
We can do like a 24-hour radio show, man. Yeah, no worries.
To be fair, Soho Radio have done that before. They've even, look, if you're looking there, you probably don't see, there's a lathe there where they cut vinyl direct.
Damn.
I mean, you need to get that on camera right there, don't you?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So, listen, thank you again. Have a great time. Enjoy the rest of your trip. You know, get your waistcoat on tonight whilst you're in Dubai. Do as the English people do. Wear a waistcoat on Waistcoat Wednesday. Ready for Gareth and the boys to do it tonight. And, you know,
don't smash
forget
up your local IKEA.
Don't forget your Salford roots whilst you're here. That's all I'm saying to you.
I don't follow football, but I'm in the hype right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want it to happen.
Just be a hype beast about it. Just be trendy about it. Everyone else is.
Real talk. But yeah,
and those real football fans can enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
So listen, adios, and we'll see you next time.
Positive vibes, man. Thank you so much.
Take care. Listen, whilst we're there, whilst Raj makes his exit, we're going to get into some... let's play this Juvenile that's playing in the background. Let's just keep it moving. Let's play Juvenile Rodeo, the Summer Jam Special, Soho Radio, Southern Hospitality. Let's do this.